Happy January 2022. This is Dawn of the New Era, and I got an energy report for you. Keeping that sense of humor no matter what's going on. That's the goal of 2023, right? At this point, we have been through it. We have been through the moggy mush. We have been through the storms and the tornadoes, and the whole point, right, in the new era is that we come to this place deep in our core where that cannot be touched. That's like kind of like a general overview as we're going from 2022 to 2023. So let's get into the cards. We have the theme of January 2023 being transition. So we are transitioning from one way of being to another. That means updating. That means an updated car, updating your diet, updating your clothes. I'm a snake. It's my totem animal. So your snake skin, anything that tells the universe that you are ready to up level. So there's a transition or replacement of home, partnership, job. Something needs to change in January. Pick something. The medicine or the frequency is of creation. So if you haven't yet, get out those paintbrushes, get out those, you can even do it online, but create something, right? This is a month to become the visionary. That was the archetype, is to utilize that part of you that truly envisions what you want for yourself, what's coming forth. Now, the light attributes of the visionary is the capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others. There's a willingness with it. The shadow is selling insights to the highest bidder or compromising your vision to make it more acceptable. Do not shine your light. Do not dim your light this month just to fit in. If you get a radical download, or if you're like, man, I think I'm supposed to start this fairy crown business, or I'm supposed to go into real estate. Like, if you get a download of what you're supposed to do, you cannot worry what other people think. You cannot. You just have to do it. I thought this was funny. Sky Daddy. A lot of people in America believe that God is a man in the sky, which I don't. I do believe that, there's these archetypes, these ascended masters, there's source, the great central sun that is the source of all that is. I believe in that. I believe in star beings. But, in this representation, it is the eagle. And the eagle in the medicine wheel represents sight, right? Seeing things from all angles. It's also a very mental card, when we're talking about Father Sky or Sky Spirit. We're talking about, here, the planetary Sky Father for Earth, because there's a lot of Sky Fathers if we go a little further. But when it comes to Mother Earth, there's that masculine structure, planning, eagle eye, vision. This is a time as a visionary to really write things out, to dot your T's, cross your I's, have someone else look at it. You're still not going to let them decide if you do it or not, but there's some big change that needs to happen in your life. And the Sky Father says, trust in the unknown. Trust in the unknown and trust in the known. Anytime we get this ancestral wisdom card, it calls for you to remember that you're not starting from scratch. You're not just out of a whim choosing to do what you're choosing to do. This comes from, not only do a lot of times when we talk about ancestral healing, we say, our ancestral wounds, our ancestral coping mechanisms, survival skills. But there's a positive piece that our ancestors gave us too. And that's pulling forth. So the end of 2022 was a lot of what kind of coping mechanisms did my ancestors teach me that I might not want to bring into the next chapters of my life? This is speaking to, hey, what strengths did you get from mama? Okay. She might not have been her best. She might have had lots of flaws, but she had some strengths too. great grandma. Like there's these strengths that are helping you. You can cultivate and pull forth and recognize that are going to get you to where you're going. The need of the month, you know, I always love to pull one of the 47 universal human needs, is inclusion. So, you know, this is inclusion. The opposite is exclusion. So if you're feeling discontent, if you're feeling dis-ease, if you're feeling upset in any ways, are you being excluded? Are you being excluded from a group, from a project, from something? Do you need to include someone else? That is the need that's going to come up the most this month for the new era population, is really like, where do we need to include others and where do we feel like we want to be included? And speak up about it. They might not know that you want to be a part of this, to use your voice. Always I statements, y'all. Always I statements. That's like communication 101. I feel, I notice, I think if there's anything that I could teach people when it comes to emotional intelligence, it would be know what you're feeling, know what you're needing, and when you communicate, use them I statements. And then our final card is like this little hope of spring, which is so funny because it's only January. But like here in the Midwest, we had this deep freeze, and now we're having this like 40s, 50s degrees thing. And it just gets this little like, oh my God, wait, there's no such thing as permanence. And though you may have been feeling that, my God, my life is like Groundhog's Day, it's always like, ooh, like these patterns keep repeating, and that's where you're coming in with this empowerment of changing one thing this month. You know, maybe it's adding a new friend. Maybe it's letting go of a friend. It's a job change. It's an extraction and a bringing in at the same time. So whatever that is, it could even be getting rid of a couple bags of clothes in your closet and then bringing some in. This energy exchange needs to happen to break that monotony that's been happening in your life for the last couple months. And then the spring card, the rabbit, you know, rabbit it is fast action. So, and it's hope. She's bringing in hope. She's saying, hey, life gets to be pretty intense, but there's always hope. And the rabbit, you know, she trains her mind to see the things to be hopeful about. Doesn't mean that we don't like pay attention to things that we're not like excited about or things that aren't going well in our lives. But she's really saying this is a month, especially when we're low on sunlight and all that, this is a month to train your brain into seeking the light and connecting back to nature. So I have a bunch of awesome stuff coming up this month. So if you want to join me, if you are a female or feel connected to the divine feminine, I have the Queen Upgrade at the end of this month. It is a 2-week program where we're going to go into what the scientists call junk DNA, and we're going to activate it and cultivate it and get you empowered so that you can make these big extractions and accumulate what your destiny is. Really, it should be really fun. And I'm always open for 30, 45, 60-minute readings, love readings, Akashic record readings, life purpose readings. I have several openings for that. And I have openings for 2 mentees for January. So that's someone I work regularly with. Other than that, I will see you in February.